Okay, well, first of all, I want to speak a little bit to context of these feet and legs and upright spines of ours. Astonishing development in the development of creatures such as we. Uh, Erect bipedal structure and bipedal locomotion in human beings has been the latest stage of mammalian evolution. That we are the ones who are completely erect. We are the ones who are relying completely on bipedal stance and locomotion. And this has given us many advantages, which I'll speak to a little later. And this achievement of upright spine, upright legs, and fully erect bipedal posture, it has been the final phase in each of our own developmental stages, from infant belly crawling to four-legged crawling to hopping to toddling, and finally to managing that full erect posture and walking as human beings were designed to walk. So an enormous amount of prior preparational development has had to take place for the emergence of this uniquely human trait, fully erect bipedalism. In the course of animals at large, transitioning from belly to crawl to homolateral to contralateral, crawling through stages of hopping in other mammal forms, to finally slowly through the billions of years of the workings of the wheels, coming to an increasing possibilities of an erect spine and contact with the feet on the ground. And it's very interesting to me that as we developed as infants, we recapitulated every single one of those evolutionary stages in our own development of the various muscular coordination patterns that have to take place in order for full uprightness to be a possibility for us. So we begin on our bellies, wriggling and developing our spine like a snake. We come up to our all fours and learn to just distribute gravity through quadruped posture. And then we moved into homolateral crawling. Then we moved into contralateral crawling. Then we moved into hopping, which was the preliminary stage of getting our feet under us and using them as locomotor engines. And finally, through our toddling years, learning to bring that into full uprightness, exert that lumbar curve so the torso comes directly back over the pelvis, and begin a lifetime's journey of managing that fully upright bipedal walking thing that we are. Now, perhaps some of you are familiar with Lucy. Lucy was the oldest humanoid remains that have been found to date. And she was discovered in 1974 by an archaeologist named Donald Johnson. And she was discovered in Ethiopia. And regrettably, it appears that Lucy died when she was about 20 years old. But her remains and the arrangement of her skeleton that show a dramatic difference from primate stoop walking and knuckle walking to achieving that upright posture on the legs, the proper tilt of the pelvis to bring that spine into full erectness, and Lucy and her contemporaries were a startling event and development towards the final stages that we enjoy as human beings. From dating her remains, it appears that Lucy, oh, by the name, Lucy was named Lucy because at the archaeological dig, the music that they played for everyone while they're working was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. So Lucy was indeed a precursor in our own sky with diamonds to come. Her remains were dated to about 3.5, 3.5 million years ago. And coincidentally, 3.5 million years ago was the same time in the march of evolution that truly opposable thumbs started to show up as a new mutation, a new arrangement of structure. So primates before us primarily have this kind of action with their hands and their thumbs. They could use their thumbs to some degree, but that development of the truly opposable thumb and the dexterity and the power that that thumb joins to the strength of the fingers was another enormous leap in the development of structure. This led to much more intricate tool using, led to much more intricate nervous system that would feel and organize motor movements to empower this new structure and give it all kinds of advantages. Now, further refinements of that Lucy uprightness that began 3.5 million years ago and the development of the opposable thumb and its possibilities. Further refinements were taking place over approximately the next 1.5 million, 2 million years ago or so. And it was during this same era, this same blink of time in evolutionary history, that brains began to explode in size, and in particular, much more sophisticated sensory motor circuits and the explosion of these prefrontal cortexes of ours and the prefrontal part of our brain, which is much larger in us than it is in other creatures. And this is the storage bank of memory, of association, of building up a personal history of self-development that was not available to animals who had very smoothly working, marvelous, miraculous sensory motor capacities. But a horse, for instance, will never learn to climb a ladder. A horse moves the way a horse moves. And a horse, other animals will never dance quite the same way we do. They will, they're limited in their reflex organizations in a way that the open-ended self-development of human beings is a radically different development. Now, note that time span from 3.5 million years ago in Lucy's remains over the next 1.5 to 2 million years of the refinement of that upright posture and the refinement of the emergence of the opposable thumb and the explosion in brain size and brain power and computational analytical memory power all happened within the same 1.5 to 2 million years in our development. 2 million years is a snap of the fingers in the eons of the entire arc of cellular and animal evolution. So things happen very quickly, and our species was thrust very quickly onto the scene with the advantages that a new kind of agility on the ground that bipedal upright posture gives us, and the enormous advantages to the opposable thumb manipulation